lovely people. Today we're going to be talking about vocal, glitchy, chopped deliciousness, and we're going to be doing it with the lovely RiSi. The main thing I want to talk about, and I feel like this is overkill for you because you're a drummer, but I think the first thing with vocal chops is just cutting to the grid. Like when in doubt, you'll see like all of these, I think it's all just 32nd or 16th notes duplicated over and over. So a lot of times I'm just taking like an ooh or an ah. So this is actually from one of my older songs, but just as an example, a lot of times I'll see something like this. I usually try and go for waveforms that are more or less consistent, unless I'm looking to have more of like a swoop or a shaping effect. Another good thing to use if you want to shape a transient is the shaper tool is really awesome for that. So in this case, I'll find a consistent point of audio. I'll do Command E to chop it, usually like on a 1/16 or a 1/8 grid. And then I basically will just program it as if it's drums. And like a lot of times that'll just make
doing like
Exactly.
Amazing.
And then that's always fun. And then I can take that and then quickly join it and pitch it up 7 semitones and together. Just lots of layers and textures of resampling the same thing to the grid. So one thing that you can do that's really cool is you can take a pre-existing audio track, like if we take this, I'm just gonna cut a random section, and then if you click slice to new MIDI track here, it has to be a short section, I believe, and then you can select, do you want to create it by transient? Do you want to create it by a specific note? Whatever. I think by default it's on transient, but let's just see what happens. Now we see it took my sample and it put it in a drum rack, which this is really fun because then you can just, on my keyboard. So I will use this, and then honestly sometimes I'll just make a MIDI clip and just paint away.
Yeah, just rock out.
Yeah, or even like have you used their generate features at all?
No.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
So one thing that's really cool with the latest versions of Ableton, and this is really good if you know for sure that your vocal sample source is all in the same key and everything, so you don't have to worry about that, which we know about this in this case. So if you go under here, it's under like your clip controls. If you go to generate, you can go to generate rhythm, which will give you like a single for a single slice. But then you can also, my favorite thing to use for experimentation is this thing called seed. So you can select
because seed, like, that could mean anything.
Exactly. I don't even know what it means, but I can set like, and then it's just setting parameters. So I'm like, I usually don't like going much farther than a 16th note, but I'll set, okay, maybe I'll do 16ths and quarter notes. I want my velocity to vary this much, and I want a little less density. And then usually I'll have like some sort of like stock drum beat in the back just while I'm testing things. But
that's cool.
Yeah, so like I do the same thing. So I basically I comp with MIDI tracks. So I'll like take this, I know I like this, and then maybe I'll generate another seed and just see what happens. And then so to do that, it's just a matter of opening your MIDI clip, going under generate tab, and then I can, if I want to restart.
So every time you hit generate, it just spits out a new one.
Yep. And if you ever need to, and then while your notes are highlighted, you can adjust in real time if you
Mm-hmm.
want to go for a different note structure. Like even that, like that's it's very interesting.
Yeah, it's like you've got a synth there now.
Yeah, and then I get so excited about it. It's so
And so
cool.
what was the audio we started with?
So the audio we started with is just this cello that my friend Nikki actually played for me. And then,
beautiful, Nikki.
I know, right? She's amazing. But yeah, there's so many cool
It's fucking
things.
awesome. Okay.
Right?
Take the audio, right click, slice to new MIDI.
Yes. Yeah.
And that automatically puts it in simpler or sampler.
Yep. So
Cool.
slice to new MIDI track. Let's see.
Okay.
Oh,
That's a great hack. That's a fucking awesome hack.
right. Because then you don't have to like chopping to the grid can be fun because I feel like you get a lot of unique stuff because you're just picking and choosing. But this just presents you with so many options so quickly that you might not otherwise come up with. The next thing I want to talk about is Granulator. And basically, Granulator is a free granular synth. And what that means is that it takes, you know, when you resample something or you slow something down, sometimes you'll have to, like what warping does is it adds back in like bits of audio.
Mm-hmm.
So each of those individual bits are called grains. And so what Granulator does is it takes
And that's what gives it like cool textures, right?
Exactly. So Granulator works by you input a piece of audio and then you can resample its grains and stuff. And so it's a really interesting chopping tool. Very similar. I go for like vocal sounds that have one note more or less or are fairly consistent, because otherwise, I mean, you can experiment of course, but it can get pretty crazy. It's so weird because it works so different from every other like synth and instrument we have available to us in Ableton. Like there's no warping, so if I go down an octave, it's gonna be slower. So that's one thing to keep
Got it.
in mind.
Okay, cool.
One of my favorite things to do with something like this, like so a lot of times what I'll do to create chops is I'll automate position. And so my favorite ways to do that is with an LFO tool. So an LFO, you may already know this, but no one explained this to me until recently. An LFO, low frequency oscillator, it's basically...
Definitely did not know what it stands for.
Okay, great. Okay, good, because I just
Definitely
learned
not,
this, so
yeah.
no worries. Okay, so the range of human hearing stops around, or it starts around like 20 hertz, right? Okay, so the low frequency oscillator is lower than that, but it's always moving, it's always continuous, and because it's moving and it's continuous and it's this dynamic thing, we can use it to shape and interact with audio, but we can't hear it. So this is why it's a good modulator, because we're only hearing the way that it's interacting with the source. It's a great way to make audio move and feel dynamic. It's how synths of all kinds work, but you can also just use it to like modulate any parameter in Ableton or otherwise. So a lot of times what I will do is I'll take an LFO, I'll map it to something that I want to automate over time. So in this case, let's do position.
Okay, so that's picking what part of the audio it's kind of...
Yep, where in Granulator it's playing. So it sounds like that. I can adjust the depth, and you can kind of hear how it's modulating based on the wave here. One of my favorite things though is to switch it to the beat grid mode, and I can put it, just like before, onto a grid, but it's kind of offset because these aren't like perfect.
Oh, so it has a little swing.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah, because now we sound more like a samba band than a like...
Yes. Because it's not like a perfect on-off.
Okay.
That was amazing, and I'm already a little lost. Okay, so the first thing is you're automating. How do you? Okay, you put.
So all you have to do. So when you open up LFO, hit map,
and then you just touch position over
and
there.
then you touch whatever you want to automate.
Great.
If you want it to automate a little less intensely, you alter depth.
Okay.
Here.
So it's just moving it automatically. You didn't even have to draw in like a
exactly.
Okay.
And that's the thing. Like I didn't use LFOs at all until this year. That's one thing I learned at school, and I was like, oh, I wish someone told me about this.
Yeah.
Because it can make things sound so much more dynamic without you having to constantly like. There's a time and place for drawing stuff, but this makes it a lot easier. And then
let's make the computers work for us.
Right? That's what AI should be. And then I just like switching to beat grid mode because I think it's
in the LFO tool.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll play.
What does it come up in?
It comes up in hertz, yeah. So like a specific time rate, which does technically convert to a specific rhythmic value,
but not necessarily
I don't know what that means.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and so I just switch it over so I know what's actually happening, and then it's also crazy.
So I feel like this is cool, but so you can play with what kind of wave it is.
And then you can also offset. To make it a little off the grid. Another thing that I will automate with an LFO to play with is, this is a little crazier. It doesn't always sound good, but sometimes I'll do grain size. Here, let me do a lot less depth with that. That gets really textured.
Yeah, I mean, what's cool about this, like, is I don't know, my stuff, and I love this stuff, but it can be mellow and like vibey, but almost sleepy. And I think for people that aren't like me, that are like sort of keyed up all the time and want to be soothed, it's like some people just want to be jolted awake. And so I feel like even if you just have one sound that's like catches their attention that way.
It's true. This is, I love Granulator for like ear candy, like even like, let me turn this off. I'm working on a song right now that opens with
and now I'm like, oh, I hear this in the song that we're doing together with two fonts.
Let's go. I love that. But yeah, like I'll take like opening a song where you start and slowly open up that envelope, I think is really interesting.
So you're just opening the grain size.
I'm just opening, so you'll hear it. Here, let me bump it up a little bit. Yeah, you'll hear just the smallest bit of audio. And it's so interesting because you're just hearing like the fundamental frequency of like that bit, which sounds bad on its own, but when you... Or even lower sometimes sounds really cool. But yeah, it just opens up a different way to...
Okay, so let's say you're like, I love that. How do you then make that audio? Like, how do you do that?
Easy.
We got it. Do you just resample? Or?
So for this particular
because you just did like 5 things that all could be cool things in this song, and like I'm always going and splicing, grabbing shit and like chopping it up, and but it's like maybe you don't even have to do that.
No.
But sometimes I get lost in these like, okay, you can automate this, and I was just like, or I'm fucking around and I'm trying to dial in something, and I'm like, making it move was cool, and I'm like, how do I get that sound?
Right. Yeah, so with these things, all you really have to do is make sure you have this little thing toggled at the top here so that you're recording the automation.
Wait, say
so you see this little dumbbell at the top?
Yeah.
So that's your automation recorder. So always have that enabled whenever you want to record.
Wait, sorry, where is it again?
See this guy?
Oh, that guy. Okay,
yeah, that little dumbbell. I don't know what it's actually called, but
the
seesaw. Whatever it is.
Okay, cool. Right next to the plus sign.
Right next to the plus, yeah. So make sure that bad boy is on. And then I'll just...
Oh, and then you can do the automation in real time, or you can...
Yeah, so I'll just, let's say I start playing around. it that way, or like you said, just using like the resampling track.
Mm-hmm.
So just opening it up here, you can either click the exact track if you just want that, or click resampling, make sure it's armed, and then you'll have it as audio there. So,
Like, I would use that to start a song in a
Right?
heartbeat. It's so
it's
evocative.
so cool. You're like, what is that? And then, yeah, like a lot of times, if I am totally uninspired and I don't know what I want to do, I'll just like, you know what? I'm always interested in what a vocal sounds chopped up, and I'll just keep this running.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I can come back to it and kind of like piecemeal together, oh, this sounds really cool, and I'll use it in a different session or whatever else. You know, we were joking about it before, but let's see what happens if we put like our guy saying yo or hey through one of these.
Y'all hear that bass?
Have you used that one?
No! Let's find out! Y'all hear that
That's
bass?
when I'm like on Splice. I'm always like, what the fuck is somebody gonna do with that?
We're gonna find out! Y'all hear that bass? It just, like, I would have never expected it to sound like that, first of all.
What? That's literally like you're walking out on stage in your boxing robe.
Yes!
Like,
And then, y'all hear that bass? Drop.
Okay, wait. So let's just review. So you dropped it into Granulator. The LFO tool isn't even on.
No, not
So
yet.
all you've done is just, what did you even do?
I
You just dropped it in.
I dropped it in, and then I moved the position.
Okay, to the beginning. Okay.
And then I switched the grain size, because before it was just too short, so it sounded... So...
And it's just, what is it doing? It's just slowing it down?
It's just, it's stretching it.
Okay.
So you can think of it like film strip, like breaking it down into the individual little frames per second. It just, it's like you're swimming into the, like the audio.
It's like, what's if you like pull
Really
apart, like
pull
peel
it-
back the skin
Exactly.
and like what's going on?
This is also another interesting way to chop things up, I think. I don't use it as often. But it's another tool at your disposal.
Okay, so we have Arpeggiator and then that's the Granulator again?
This is just a sampler.
Okay,
so I
cool.
just pulled a random thing onto a MIDI track. But Arpeggiator is good to know about. So if we're just looking at basic audio chopping, if we look at this, so we have our cello, nice little cello there. If we go into the clip and we switch, we're usually using Complex or Complex Pro for tuning, but if you go into beats and switch to transients and then have it go one way, it'll start to gate by transient, which can be a really interesting effect.
Oh, interesting.
Or sometimes I'll put it on a grid. I do this in a lot of my songs. And it'll...
That's really cool. Okay, so you're warping it, you're putting in beats.
The other thing that's super cool is if you go to texture, and you can play with the grain size here. There's this half time and double time button. A lot of times I'll make it like twice, really slow it down.
Nice. Oh, that's like so neat.
It's really interesting.
You know what that reminds me of? Oh, what's his name? He's the guy from Vampire Weekend. And
Ooh,
he produces
Rostam?
Rostam,
I
yes.
love Rostam.
His production is
He's
so
cool. And then the last thing I want to show you is just more of like a comping thing more than anything else. So I just take plugins where it really changes the nature of whatever I'm making, and I'll just resample and comp. So some of my favorite things to use, one of the things luckily is free. It's called Fracture.
Oh my god, I think I downloaded this.
Oh, good.
I downloaded this because of a session we did together.
Fab.
And I've been trying so hard to make it work on the drum beat of this one song. And then I go back and I'm like, nah, this sounds like trash. And I'm like, but it's in here. There's a way to do it.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy. And a lot of time, and most of the time, it's just me like some of, they sound so weird. But every once in a while you get something that's interesting. Wait, this one? Hold up. Okay, just to show you an example.
Machine chatter.
Machine chatter. So this is the exact thing that I used on the intro, not to plug, but just because I can remember.
What, girl?
The whole intro to this song. Like that whole beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It's just...
Yeah, hit the beginning again. Let him hear it again.
And like this too. So it's just taking like several layers of the same audio file, putting different effects on it, and then comping them together.
Okay. So for what we just heard, like did you think you did like a couple different fractures?
It's definitely this. So.
And in terms of workflow, like would you just then like you resample this and you bounce the audio with the effect and you do that like 5 different times and then you just kind of start Legoing them together?
That, or I'll use here. So this is a little more gentle. I love this plugin. It's called Effectrix. Shout out the first person who really got me in a studio and taught me things. His name is Devin Spear. He showed me
Devin.
Love you, Devin.
Your girl's
Go,
doing
Devin.
great things in the world.
Anyway, Effectrix is this plugin that just puts effects into a sequencer model. If you haven't caught already, I love all of my effects to be to a grid, to a beat. I'm very into that. But a lot of times I'll take this and I'll run through the presets. So let's try this one. And so maybe I like part of that, and so I'll freeze that on this one, like that, and then maybe I'll try a different one on this. Okay, great.
Oh my god, this shit is so cool.
Isn't it cool?
This is a stock Ableton plugin too?
No.
No, it's not.
This is the
Okay,
one that
too
isn't.
good.
This is an old plugin. Like, it hasn't been updated in years, but it's amazing.
But it's out there.
It's out there. You can get it. Shout out to Effectrix. And so then I'll do the same thing. So now I have my 2 bounced out audio. Maybe I'll just try. It's a lot of just, fucking around and finding out, to be honest. So sometimes I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna make a little like checkerboard. Honestly, yeah, I'll do something like this and just see what will this sound like. It's a lot of just following curiosity. So
that sounds amazing. That literally sounds amazing.
it's so weird and interesting. But
And I love too, because like I can definitely get in my head and overthink things.
Mhm.
Like you just did that not listening. You're like, oh, we'll just mute this here, we'll mute this here,
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. And what happens is awesome.
Sure. Well, sometimes it sounds like poop, but I think it's just letting yourself.
Yeah.
And worst case, there's so many times where I'm producing by myself and I start laughing because I'm like, this is horrible. But it's all right. I just move on and try something else.
Poop remix. No, but also it's like you did something very sensical. You're like, we're kind of gonna go back and forth of like that track, and every once in a while we'll let them both play together. And it's just kind of like 1 2 1 2.
You start to figure out what patterns like your ear tends to like.
Yeah.
And I'm a very grid focused person, so that's the way I work. But
that's awesome. I'm getting this plug-in today.
Yay! Effectrix.
All right, do you want to play me your can we hear it? Is this like the original song? Is this Briefcase? I also am maybe it's because you did it in song share, but I'm kind of obsessed with this song. I feel like it's like you need to send this song to David Byrne, by the way.
Oh, that is
Since
so
you're from
nice.
New York, I feel like you'll understand that.
That is the nicest thing ever. Okay.
Lightweight mind state, hit 'em with the shortcake. I don't give a fuck about your Oxford with the briefcase. Lowbrow, high wage, every day you hesitate. I don't give a fuck about
Basically,
your
all of the melodic information that isn't vocal or bass
briefcase. I don't give a fuck about your
or a different sample chop, like in this section.
briefcase.
Vocal again.
Hit 'em with
Vocal.
I don't give a fuck about hit 'em with the lowbrow.
Very simple drum beat. It's all just like make your hand.
Briefcase. Hit 'em with hit 'em with hit 'em with hit 'em with hit 'em with
I think I did some chopping up in the beats here as well. And the arpeggiator is weighted at the top.
hesitate. I don't give a fuck about briefcase. I don't give a fuck about
This song is so New York, I love it.
briefcase. I don't give a fuck about. I don't give a fuck about.
And it's all like the same sample.
That scream, is that you?
That's me.
I don't give a
Yeah, I just screamed. RiSi, please tell us all about your magical musicalness.
I started out as a drummer. I started life as a drummer, so I'm really into rhythm. I'm an artist, and now I'm like, a year and a half into my production journey, and
That's it.
I want some of your chops.
Oh, I didn't even realize it was that. Like, you're killing it.
Well, I've always been doing it in my head. Like,
Uh-huh.
I think I probably annoy the shit out of a lot of male producers because I don't like sit on the couch in the back of my phone and let them do
You're
what they
like
want.
this.
I'm always
this,
like, I hear this. What if we do
Oh, of
this?
course.
And
So you've been producing verbally for a long time.
yeah, in my head, I've
Yeah.
been producing, and during pandemic, I learned Ableton because I was like, I'm tired of people not understanding me or pretending they don't understand me. So if I can just give them like a really strong demo of my songs and be like, this is what I want.
Yes.
And then I started producing writing sessions, and I would kind of dial up a vibe, like you find a cool loop or you play a few chords in. And because I'm a drummer, I can't not have some sort of like bass drum snaps, you know what I mean?
Sure. Of course.
So I would do that, and then I'd be like, you could take it to a real producer. And then one day I was like, I need to stop saying that. What happens if I try and produce this whole song out? And here we are. Now I'm twisting the arms of every awesome producer I know to show me shit.
Let's do it.
Hey, let me ask you too.
Yes.
I'm gonna interview the producer.
Please.
Right,
please.
because I do like dreamy, sort of nostalgic, 80s inspired pop music for my artist project. And sometimes I'm drawn to something that's just so different. And also as a producer, I want to be able to do all kinds of things. So like, how did this become your thing?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm very uncomfortable with my voice, truth be told, as many artists are. But I found that I can like certain parts of it, and I also think the sound of vocal chops is so interesting and really picks up my ear, and so it just became one of those things that I'm really obsessed with. Like, I know I love vocal chops, and I also love have you used Ethereal Canyon delay
No.
at all? Okay.
No.
I probably have it in here, knowing myself. That's like my favorite thing ever here. This guy. This whole preset, I feel like I use in almost all of my things.
Stock Ableton plugin. We love that.
I love a stock plugin. Ethereal Canyon is awesome. Another thing I like about it is you can switch from the time nodule. This is just a preset of Ableton's Echo plugin, which is
Okay.
the best. You can also use it as a delay.
Okay.
But you can switch from time mode here to sync, and then you can
Nice.
do different rhythms and create different grooves, like on one side versus the other. Yay!
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Thank you. Thank you.
We love it. The chops in action.
The chops in action. Well, that is it. Go check out RiSi, stream the tunes. Hope you learned something. Bye.